I've been married for more than 15 years, and my marriage just feels stale and boring. I am no longer in love as I used to be. What should I do?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say anonymous is a good way to go. Not that you can give a name or you could even make up a name if you send a question if you are concerned, but anonymous is a good way to go. Not everything has to be shared with everybody. So now we're saying number one, you don't have to go and tell all your friends, this is how I feel and this is what's going on. You know, there's some things that Christ in you can help you best with. That doesn't mean that you could never go to someone who you really trust, but I would just be very cautious. So first of all, congratulations on anonymous. Having said this, take a look at what you have. Sometimes we always think that we need something more, but it could be that you have, and I hope it is the case, I don't know anything about the situation, that there are many good things in your life. I find that willingness, of course, is very important, whether it comes to our salvation, relationship with God, to be willing, and also in your situation, to be willing to listen, to hear, to learn. I find that words can get us into trouble and words can get us out of trouble. And so I hope that you have a relationship. It doesn't say really whether it's a male or a female here, so I don't know why I was assuming it was a female, but it could be a male, you know,
Could
so
be.
we don't know. That you can openly talk and discuss with the willingness and with humility, willing to learn, willing to listen. Sometimes I find that Christian marriage seminars are not helpful because sometimes teaching, not all of them, but sometimes it can be teaching, you know, this is what the man should do, this is what the woman should do. And then the woman listens in on the man's session and she goes home and says, well, you're not doing this and this and this and this. And then the man listens to the woman's session and says, you're not doing this and this. So it actually brings kind of a modern day legalism, if you wish. I think every couple finds their niche and the way of working it together. And so I should have had Tina here really on the set to give her perspective of it because we got our thing and we're working on it. But I hope I gave some thoughts there. Humility, openness, willing to listen, and then appreciation for what you already have. Those would be within 2 minutes, what I could say. So thank you for the question.
All right, next question is coming from James. Last week, you spoke about issues like gender identity and cancel culture. These are political issues. Should the gospel mix with politics?
Well, first of all, I consider that God and His gospel and His love is never off limits. If you notice, last week's programming, if I remember correctly, our theme, and I had very much pondered what the theme should be, and we worked on that together, Megan, you and I, is God's love speaks to tough issues. So we didn't want to frame this in a political way. I didn't even want to frame it as some Christians do, like we seem to be like we are in a campaign against something. We wanted to frame everything within God's love. That is our voice. That's where we stand. Now, we do have convictions. We do have, I think, by and large, very traditional values. And so we spoke those values from the context that God loves every person. So whatever side of the issue you find yourself, God loves you. Then I don't think party politics and the gospel go very well together. But politics is about life. It's about how we conduct ourselves in society. And Jesus himself could have been accused of mixing politics, and so could Paul, for example. And so we speak on issues. And so if the political realm comes in on our gospel territory, and we welcome them in, then we are free to address that. But I think we need to be very cautious. And I'm very concerned. I've lived long enough that I've seen quite a bit of few decades of development in Christianity. And I think that we do have today a sad marriage, an unfortunate marriage between evangelical Christianity and politics. I find that a very unfortunate development. I wish we could have gone back to the pre-moral majority days where it was more, about introducing Jesus. It was standing up for Jesus and the gospel more than standing up for political issues.